All right. So first of all, how did you find out you were elected to the College Football Hall of Fame, and what were the emotions like when you found out?
Well, I was actually doing some spring cleaning in my closet, and Coach Swinney called me. And anytime he calls, you never know what's gonna come out. And he went to first he asked where my wife was at because I had just got married, and he kind of went to explaining to her, hey, CJ was my first 5-star. He was my first Pro Bowler. Now he's my first Hall of Famer. So I was in my closet just cleaning up, straightening up stuff, and next thing you know, I found out that I'm getting inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame. And really my emotions was everywhere because you really don't know how to take that news at the moment because, you never really think about that stuff while you're playing. And then to see, all the hard work that you put in is getting paid off. It's a tremendous honor.
What does it mean to you, like in the scope of everything that you've done, to be here?
I think this is at the pinnacle of everything. I think everything that I set out to do at a young age when I started playing the game of football, this would be right at the top because when I was young I wrote down all my goals, what I wanted to accomplish as a player, going from high school to college and into the pros, and the thing I always wrote down was I always wanted to be known as one of the best to leave each stop that I had along the way, and now to be considered one of the best and at Clemson, it means a lot not only to me but to my family, to my teammates, and to my university.
You had a couple coaches. So, like, in what ways did Coach Swinney and Coach Bowden influence you?
They both was great influences. Started off with Coach Bowden right there for about, I guess you might well say, 3.5 years before we had to switch over to Coach Swinney. But the thing that you learn about Coach Bowden is that he's a man of faith, and he wore it on his sleeve. And he respected his players. He respected his coaches. And, you just learn how to become just a great worker. And just put the blinders on and go to work. And then when you get over to Coach Swinney, it's pretty much the same thing. It's all about family. He's big on that. And lucky for me, he was my recruiter, so I had to build that relationship with him, so I knew what type of man he was. And the biggest thing that he always told me is just, hey man, don't look behind you. You always want to see what's going on in front. You got to have that windshield mentality. You can't look behind and see what's going on in the back. And he taught me how to become a man. And then he just taught me how to become a better father because I had a daughter coming out of high school. So, man, it's just so many traits that I was able to learn from both of those great coaches in their respective ways that I'll be able to carry throughout my career.
Why'd you choose Clemson?
It was the people. I mean, Clemson is just something different. And I tell people all the time, and we had dinner last night with Coach and my family, and the thing that we talked about was that, why did I go to Clemson? And the biggest thing I tell people was it was the people because, buildings, yeah, those things are very nice and, you should look into them. But I think it's the people that make the university. And it was the only visit that I went on where I called back home and told my mom, I think this is a place I can come for 3 or 4 years. And I had to been to some very prestigious institutions on my official visits. But it was just something different when I got up to Clemson that made me make that phone call back home and tell her that. And when I got there, they lived up to it. I mean, it's really just a close-knit community, similar to my hometown, Lake Butler. And that's kind of what I was looking for. And they really just adopted me like their own son. And they really just treated me like one of theirs.
What's it like to be on a coaching staff now and trying to teach what you were taught?
It's different, but it's a tremendous honor that I take great pride into because you have an opportunity to have an impact on a young man's life and kind of shape him into the young man that he can go off and be successful, not only in the game of football, but give him the tools that he'll need for life itself. So that's the thing that I really enjoy. I was actually texting Will Shipley last night, and he was texting congratulate me. And you never really know how your players really perceive you until they tell you. So for him to send that text last night, it meant a lot to me. And I know the rest of the guys, they feel the same way. We did a thing on Thanksgiving where we call it the running back thankfulness. And I had each guy stand up and say why they was thankful. And, to hear the comments that they made about themselves, their teammates, and the guys in the room, and some of the comments they made about me, it was really touching. For me to be just a part of their journey, I take tremendous pride and honor into that.
One last question. I'm going off memory here because I didn't write it down. Is it Iowa
Yeah.
State you guys are playing
Yeah.
in the game?
Yes,
Oh, got it. Okay.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
We are excited about that opportunity. That's a great team. Iowa State. I think it's Coach Campbell that's up there. He done a tremendous job. I remember he came down to Clemson and kind of toured our facility and met with Coach Swinney, so I know they have a great relationship, and I know it'll be a tough matchup. But I know the guys will, once we get back into preparation, we'll get a great game plan together and then get down into Orlando and see if we can get our 10th win of the season, something that we won for 10 straight years for. So it's going to be an exciting time, and I can't wait to get back started.
Why did anybody ever let you return a kick?
You know what? I guess they wanted to see if the hype was really real. I know it was a couple times I had a chance to meet with Coach Shannon that was at Miami at the time, and I asked him why did they kick it off to me right before halftime. And he actually told me that he told the kicker before taking the field, do not kick it deep. And the kicker, I guess, took it upon himself. And, but I couldn't have done all those returns without those other 10 guys. That was really, they took pride into that stuff. And I always told those guys, if you just had them up, I'll do my best to try to reward you. So, with them other 10 guys on there, especially with my counterpartner, Jacoby Ford back there, guiding me along the way. It was all those guys that really did all the hard work, and I just tried to use my speed to do the rest.